Hi, this is Positive Energy, and I'm back with something a little bit different. I'm not doing a review of a show. I'm actually going to talk about a topic that comes up very often when it pertains to what I do, and that is instructional design. So, many people ask me a very common question, and that is, what does your job consist of? Like, how would I get into that field? And I used to get that question a lot when I was in a different field, when I was working in the field of media. And people used to ask that same question, like, what does that actually mean? And so instructional design, or some people might call it instructional system design, is basically a practice of designing or systematically developing and delivering instructional products and experiences. And you can do this both in the physical light, or in the physical atmosphere, or on digital platforms. So you have instructor-led training as well as digital training. Training that is available whether in real time or training available at a later date. So that's that's the e-learning aspect of it. So that's one theory of describing the position. Some people think of that as saying, well, what do you mean in the design of how to instruct? Like, what exactly are you doing? And you can akin that to teaching. There are learning theories for children. There are also adult learning theories. And for what I do is dealing with adult learners. My position is basically designing e-learning training for adult learners. I've done the instructor-led training as well. And you want to adhere to best practices, and you want to make sure that you understand who your audience is and how to deliver. If they have to learn, do they have to learn a different language? Do they have to learn how to use a program, or are they learning a program language, or are they looking to just be aware of certain things? It's a lot of different things that you need to keep in mind when you are designing training. So how do you get into the world of e-learning or instructional design or learning experience designer? All these different titles, content developer. How do you get into it? And there's really no one way into this field. It's a relatively new field. I would say within the last 20 years, maybe a little bit longer. You had colleges, universities beginning to provide some of their coursework in an online format. You also begin to have some universities like Phoenix Online came up over 20 years ago, where you don't have to attend a brick and mortar classroom for learning. You would attend online in your own time. You could, it's a little bit more flexible. So you have a little bit more autonomy about when you are, taking courses, and you can do this probably after work or, weekends, things of that nature. It's just a little bit more flexible than having to be in a classroom, whatever day, 3 days a week or whatever the case may be. Now, of course, they do have regimented schedules as well, but not nearly as, where you have to be present in a classroom. So this was years ago. People were taking courses online, and it worked better for them. They didn't have to travel to get to a school or university. They could sit at home and take a course or courses. So that's one early aspect of instructional design or content development. You have many people coming from so many backgrounds get into training. You have graphic designers, you have copywriters, you have multimedia developers, you have programmers. So many different people bring to light an e-learning training.